What's up, YouTube? This is Novadella Investments back again with another update. This time, where I'm going to update you all on the Composer um, account. So basically, this is a program that builds symphonies and create where you can create investment strategies to your liking, and those symphonies that you create automatically execute different directions for you with hands off, without you having to pay too much attention to the market. This is good for folks who would like to participate in the markets more or beyond just the basic investments, but don't have the time to tend to it. And so if you take a look at the account right now, you can see that the portfolio's value is around $3,000. Not too big, but that's what it is. And so we started back on the 5th of May. Currently, the account is performing at a 2% cumulative. Currently, we've done around 2% on the portfolio, which is not bad. And then don't pay too much attention to the day's change here, because this is just a deposit that I made recently. So you can see I'm invested in two symphonies, the rising rates with volatility switch. The reason I like this symphony is the fact that it has a low drawdown. So if you look at how it compares to the S&P 500, you can see that the max drawdown. Let's go longer period. Let's go 3 years. So if you look at 3 years ago, right? So 3 years ago, if you had invested $100,000 3 years ago, here's what the breakdown would look like, right? So here's what the initial investment is, and here's where we would sit today. These are all the numbers, so you can see cumulative since that time. The S&P 500 has returned 34%. Meanwhile, the two strategies that I'm invested in returned a cumulative of these numbers respectively. And then here's the annualized return breakdown. Here's what's happened over the last month, right? And here's what's going on the last 3 months. What it looks like: Sharpe ratio, and then standard div, and then here's the max drawdown. So the max drawdown during that 3-year period, the max drawdown for the S&P 500 is way higher than the max drawdown for these two strategies, which is really good, by the way, because it's telling you that you at some point, if you had invested in the overall stock or S&P 500 and only held that at some point during that time, during those 3 years, you would be down the most at 24% on your portfolio at one point, as opposed to the two strategies I'm invested in. You'd have been significantly lower, almost 10% lower than the standard market. So I'm going to continue to build this portfolio up. Ideally, I want to have 2,500 in each. I want to have 2,500 in the V1 B and TO, and I also want to have 2,500 in the rising interest rates volatility switch. Let's take a look at this. So let's take a look at what the allocation is currently. And keep in mind, like I said before, this is done automatically. So you'll come in. It trades once a day. So the last successful day was the 17th. So what you would see is what the allocation is. It's based on what the system, how the symphony is programmed, and what's going on within the market. You'll see changes in allocation. Sometimes you'll see a swap out in ticker. So right now you'll see that we have 17% of our money, right? Because we have what 600 bucks invested in this one. So 17% is in UPRO, 19% is in Q, right? TMF holds 16%, 17% in FAS. Labu has 8%, and then Soxalu has 7%, and we have 0.1% sitting in cash currently. And then, like I said, those numbers will change based on what's going on within the market and what the investment strategy is off the symphony. So let's take a look at the strategy. So if you look down here, you'll see how this strategy is programmed. right? So it's a bunch of if this then what, basically, right? Or else, basically. So so you're setting up a program to execute certain things that you would like to be executed based on what's going on within the market, and then so based on you can base it on the just overall market. Hey, if QQQ is down greater than 6%, I want you to do this. If the market, if the S&P 500 is moving sideways and the RSI is below 30 or above 70, I want you to buy TQQ or something like that. Basically you go in here, you program these symphonies to do what you want it to do automatically, and then so it'll change and allocate and so on as the day goes along, based on as time goes along, based on the market conditions. And then here you can see what we're holding currently in the other symphony. So if you take a look at this one, you see that we're holding AA. So we have 13%. We have 0.5% in cash, right? So that's sitting in cash. We have 13% in AA, 8% in EDV, 16% in GNRC, 4% in JYNT, 16% in NVIDIA. I think NVIDIA's earnings are coming up, but so that's important. But 8% in the SOX S, the semiconductor bear ETF, and then ETSL 32%, which is our largest position. And then here are the numbers as far as how much we have invested in those different vehicles. And then here's the quantity. So 28 shares, 7 shares, and so on and so forth. Like I said, just gonna testing it out. I like this this Composer website or website, and we'll see, man. We'll see how this portfolio progress over time. I have high hopes for this portfolio. So you can take a look at. You can come in here. You see the community. These folks are always in here building different symphonies. Some of them are pretty outrageous with crazy drawdowns and so on. But if you know what to look for, you know how to screen for screen basically pick the best symphonies. You can have a great symphony and a great program set up that can help you beat the market and beat the S&P 500 in the long run. And so basically, I will do another video in the future breaking down what I look for when it comes to like selecting symphonies or investment programs. What's the best thing to look at as far as like Sharpe ratio, max drawdown, Kalman ratio? What are the key numbers to look at over time to try to predict basically how a symphony is going to perform in the future? Like I said, nothing is guaranteed. However, you can make your life a lot easier if you know what to look for. Like for instance, something like this, I probably wouldn't. This Bitcoin strategy symphony, I probably would not take a look at that right now, or the mirrors version. I know it has crazy cumulative return since inception of 2022, November, October, respectively. However, the 141 annualized return those 2 years. Those numbers look good, but if you take a look over here, at some point the account was down 31%, and at some point it was down 53% for the Bitcoin. So I don't know. I don't think I can stomach that as far as waking up, looking at my portfolio and seeing the portfolio down over 50%, and then when you look at the S&P 500, it's S&P is outperforming that. Granted, it ended up with a 330% cumulative with a 171 annualized compared to whatever the SPY is, right? But still, at those times, if the SPY is outperforming it psychologically, why not just put your money in the general market and just let it ride at that point? You get what I'm saying? So, but if you like taking risk, hey, you come in here and pick as you choose and have at it. So basically, you'll pick a symphony, and then you'll just click invest, right? And then if you have the funds available in the account, you just put in how much you want to invest, and then boom, you're in. And then you'll just wait for it to execute based on what the criteria are. So look at this compared to SPY. So let's look at the last 3 years. So the last 3 years compared to SPY, you see that they built a strategy here, and boom, it just took off and left SPY down here in the dust. But like I said, I don't like the fact that the drawdown is freaking over 50% at some point with it. That's pretty scary. So if you take a look here, compared to 24% max to 35%, but look at the difference in return. Man, you gotta have real diamond hands to hold on to this when it's teetering and sitting here. And I don't think I can stomach that. So I'll stay away from the riskier symphonies within here. They also have professional symphonies too. Like if you want to follow what sorry, this is the wrong one. If you want to follow what somebody like Warren Buffett is doing or something like that, right? You can come in here and look at the copy of the greats, and you can see they got guys like Warren Buffett, David Swenson, Ray Dalio. You can come in here and look at how their portfolios are performing, and you can also invest with them. You know what I mean? And I think the Warren Buffett one, this one adjusts yearly, so every year it goes in, and then they'll change. They'll basically update it to match whatever Warren Buffett is doing during that time. So you can see here as a strategy for the ages as laid out in Warren Buffett's will. The will's trustees are instructed to deploy 9% of the funds into the S&P 500 and 10% to short-term U.S. government bonds. So basically, you're investing like you're Warren, basically. And then so if you had $100,000 in this portfolio, let's see how much is in it. How much is it? So let's say you invested back at inception of this strategy, right? And then so this will be your ending value, right? So in 2 years you would have made $21,000, which is an annualized return of 9% and 21% total, obviously, right? And then here's what the holdings would look like. So you would have 90% in VU, and then you would have 8% in the treasury, short-term treasury. You can go in and change the allocations too. If you want to go in and change it on your own, you can go in here and just edit it, and so on and so forth. Like you can go into to edit, and you can edit these symphonies to match whatever you want it to do, right? So you can go in here and edit it, and then so you can change out the ticker. Like say you don't want to use VU, right? Say you want to use like VGT or something like that, right? Or something like that, right? So you want to use VGT, right? Or sorry, VGT, VGT, whatever. You can go ahead and change it out. You can also change the allocations, right? So you can go like 60-40 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? If you want to do that, and so on and so. So you can make all kind of changes and do all kind of things within here. You can use the AI to create a symphony. So let's say I would like a portfolio that benefits from demand for GPUs. Click on it, or you can type in whatever you want to build, right? And then it'll build it for you. And then you can back test it and so on and so forth. And this is a really cool program to help automate the markets and help you try to beat the market and get a better return on your investment than what the standard market is giving you. But I'm not gonna beat a dead horse too long. Jump in the comments. I want to hear from you if you've used Composer. How do you like it? Do you understand it? Do I need to make more videos about it? Yeah, comment, let me know. And I'll see you all next time. Take care.